We are here at the Creative Dye Studios in Marrickville, sitting alongside beloved illustrator, streetwear designer, tattoo artist, YouTuber, co-host of the God Is Dead podcast, interviewer in its own right. He regularly draws character mashups meant only for your nightmares and has been described as the cool older brother of art. The centre of a three-part Venn diagram of honesty, humour and art is where he lives. He's the perfect person to answer some of our hypnotic questions. Campbell Walker AKA Struthless. Welcome.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, good intro.
Yeah, I really like that.
Okay, good. Yeah, we worked on that for a minute.
No, nailed it. Nailed the landing. Yeah, it was great.
You're here. You've been hyped.
The Venn diagram metaphor. Oh, heartstrings well tugged.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. All right. Well,
So,
we have some things here.
while we get down to these questions, we're going to be collectively bringing the exquisite corpse to life. It turns out this is French, 100 years old. And for anyone that doesn't know, it's when your piece of paper gets folded into 3 separate bits. You each draw a part of the body, either the head, the body, or the legs.
Cool.
And we have to hide it from each other until we reveal the disgusting creature we've made at the end.
Super cool.
So I'm going to get the head started, but did you want to do the body or legs?
I'll do the legs.
The legs.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Cool. Well, for anybody who's living, I guess, a truth-filled life, you could say, who, what, when, why, where is Struthless, in your own words?
Well, when it started, I thought it was just going to be a brand, and then people started calling me it, and I was just kind of rolling with the punches. So I'm like, all right, I guess that'll be my username. And I don't know if it means that much to me, other than just a mash of words.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my answer.
Just
a username.
weird one, but you have said before that you're really inspired by Stevo, and he is a super sick dude. Like, I love Stevo. He's a character. Obviously, he's really good at butt chugging, but what is it? Yeah, other than that, though, yeah, like, sure, okay, that's surprising, but other than that, what is it about him that inspires you, like, daily, you said?
Oh yeah, Stevo for me, god damn, I love that level of research. I adore Stevo so much. All right, so for me, Stevo is the greatest example of a redemption arc, because he started out as such a ruthless, reckless dude who would just do anything for views back before anything for views was even a thing.
Totally.
And he still had the tenacity and ambition to get that on TV, obviously with his team.
Yeah.
Or I guess
But still,
Knoxville's
I mean, he
team.
did it.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
And so he did all this sort of stuff. He's been to jail so many times. He's been arrested so many times. He's had this insane, crazy life. He was on like the most gnarly drug trips. Everything was insane in his life. And then in his later life, as he's evolved, he became completely sober, went absolutely vegan and positive and wholesome, and is now like semi-inspirational dude.
Totally.
And it's beautiful. And like, you even take like an example of when you think about like back in Jackass, him eating goldfish versus what he did a few years ago, where he climbed up onto the SeaWorld sign and wrote like the massive "SeaWorld sucks." And he's like, I know that I've done some awful things to animals, and he's like, but now I have evolved, and this is the person that I am now. And I love it.
Absolutely.
I love Steve.
It's so honest.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. And I also think like what that for me represents is that we should forgive people for the stuff that they have done, and we should allow people the space to evolve.
To be better.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, because I mean, like, and that's the other consequences. I think like the moral absolutism that some people like talk with on the internet when they're just like, cancel culture basically,
totally.
which I mean, we've taken a fast turn quick, but like, I think Stevo represents that you can do anything and come back and be amazing.
Absolutely. It's like, have you seen that documentary? It's pretty sad, but it's called like the Dolphin. I think it's just called Dolphins or something, but it's about...
Is it Blackfish or?
Yeah, it's something like that, but it's about pretty much the hunting for dolphins due to the SeaWorld kind of life, right, of like glorifying them. But the man who actually started that whole movement is the one that's making these documentaries trying to stop all of that, because he was like, this has gone way out of hand, you know what I mean? And trying to reclaim that, like, similar thing. Like, if there is that power in the forgiveness of,
And just representing that people aren't fixed as well. Yeah,
Totally.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
He's just a very genuine person, and I thought it would be something like that, because he does just have such a arc, you know, and yeah, to come full circle and just be, you know, a really wholesome, to use the
lovely
word
guy.
wholesome,
Yeah.
he is, like he really embodies that arc of redemption. So
He's also hilarious.
Yeah,
Beautiful talking voice as well.
Yes.
Like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
Stevo, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Such
what
a
happened to you,
character.
man? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. No, he's a legend, dude. Well, so your 70% rule.
Oh, yeah.
About, you know, productivity and what's the word? Perfectionism.
Yeah.
Has that implementing that rule helped swell that tide of perfectionist thoughts, like cementing themselves into your brain?
Yes. So perfectionism is such a weird beast.
It's a curse.
Yeah, I think the best way that I've heard it summed up was by Brene Brown, who said perfectionism isn't the way, it's in the way. And I'm like, oh, god damn, I love when people can just twist a phrase like that. But that kind of blew my mind, I guess, because so often when you make things, you're like, if I can just be a little bit better, then I'll be a little bit better, and then it becomes a reflection on you, and it's just this whole like toxic thing where you've like set up everything in the wrong way, and that's where I think perfectionism comes from. But for me, I guess the 70% rule was kind of like, you know, like immersion therapy. So, for example, if you had a fear of snakes and then you had to go hold a snake. Yeah. So that's what I feel like that has been, because I've got a fear of not publishing perfection, or at least close to perfect.
Yeah.
And so for me to stop doing that was like immersion therapy on me. And then the more that I could get in that habit, the more that I could
And you found it becoming a habit, getting better at
Still so far from done.
Yeah, of
like,
course.
but better.
The podcast format would be a really good way of channeling that, because it's very
So
live. And
And Bryce is amazing, because he's very radio trained. So he's kind of been teaching me how to talk better in like a live setting, which is real.
Man.
I appreciate it.
Fucking helpful.
Yeah, super helpful. So that's been super nice for that.
Totally, yeah. He's just a creative and funny dude. Like,
he's so awesome.
Is the death of God, on the topic of the podcast, really defined, do you think, by a single thing, or is just the fact that you've accumulated all of these things together, in essence itself, just enough? Sorry to end the
No. The title. So if anyone hasn't listened to the podcast, just the premise is that we take the worst things that we can find on the internet, like the absolute like garbage of the internet, and then go through it, understand it, analyze it, and then say, does this prove whether God exists or not? Which is kind of like the most obnoxious question.
It is,
but that's kind of the joke. It's just like such like.
It's tongue in cheek.
Yeah, it's tongue in cheek clickbait, right?
Absolutely.
This is, and like hopefully people understand that it doesn't take itself too seriously in that sense. However, sometimes we come across like some really borderline content where you're just like, oh god, like, and the actual implications of certain pieces of content are really terrifying. So I would say, I think overall, I do think God is or some sort of spirituality is still present, even with the stuff that we do get exposed to online. So like, you know, you take an example, like we were talking about Daddy 05, who was clearly abusing his children. That's an extreme example of something awful that's online. But the other thing that's online is how much vitriol he receives. And that is beautiful. And so like, if we see the course correcting society that we've got, I mean, that's kind of nice. So I think there's
always
two
that silver
sides.
lining there. Follows up a little bit. At any point in your life, has God been, or any sort of kind of spirituality been involved? Did you grow up in a church environment, or have any sort of experience?
Not really. My cousins are hyper religious. So like I knew it, and like toxically religious, I would say, some of them. But we weren't so much. No, it was all pretty, I guess, agnostic. No one was telling me to believe this or that. My grandpa was pretty new age. He was very, I guess his beliefs would be very popular right now.
Right, cool, legend dude. What a dope dude.
Yeah, he was, man. Yeah, he was crazy. He did a lot of stuff. He was a vegan since forever. He liked electronic music, like, and this is like back in the 90s, and
Yeah.
this guy would have been like in his 50s, 60s, and he like fully cycled across the Nullarbor. He like lived in the Andes for a while. He was a crazy guy. And then,
Like,
beautiful guy. He like would wake up and do yoga
Oh,
and
lush.
like meditate. He was just, he'd be very, very popular on Instagram right now, you know?
Totally. There are a few of those. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a real hippie.
If we can ask.
Yeah, go crazy. Ask anything.
So, I mean, you've made a pretty public act of the fact that you're sober. Right?
Oh yeah,
We even
yeah.
asked you for a beer the other week, stupidly,
Yeah.
and you
Oh,
very rightly corrected us. that
oh,
you don't
no.
drink. So tell us your ethos around why you decided to share that journey. Obviously, you started making videos actively to
It's
be better, but
obviously still ongoing.
yeah, of
Most
course.
definitely.
And how are you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
How are you
man.
today?
So the video, just context, I guess, for anyone listening, starts with, it was at the start of last year, I'm fairly certain, where I was like, I mean, I'd had it up to, which everybody gets to at some point, where they can't do drugs anymore.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I'll replace the drugs with novelty, which is kind of a naive thought. And the novelty for me was making videos, which was fun. And it mostly worked for drugs. It didn't work for alcohol. I found that I could still be kind of like a functioning, very mild alcohol ick. But I've since taken out alcohol as well.
Yeah,
and that's
amazing.
been
It's impressive.
beautiful. Yeah, it hasn't been very
So
long. But
inspirational.
yeah, oh
How
my
you
God. Living my truth. No, how am I feeling?
Yeah.
Good, man. Like the most annoying thing about not drinking is you can't immediately relieve stress.
Yeah.
And I think that's the
Or like there's something to do, kind of.
Have
Have you
that,
found any other little avenues? What are you doing?
I really like running, but I like running on a treadmill.
Mad.
Yeah.
I respect.
But I
Going
don't.
to the gyms to be-
I like, because I like zoning out with a video and then forgetting that you've like exercised. Because
Totally.
I mean, it just doesn't come naturally to me.
forces you on.
And I like the chemistry that happens, and afterwards I'm like,
Yeah.
and that's real nice.
There's this cool app where I
Yeah.
used to use, and it's like a zombie thing. So pretty much.
Yeah. And if you
plug
run
it
too
in.
slow, you go,
It makes you and then like because I scare myself really easily, but
Yeah.
it helped me because at points I realized I'd be really running. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm
Yes.
like you're getting into the audio experience of these zombies chasing you. Like I don't know, it's cool.
Ain't that the truth? Oh
Yeah.
man, that's great. Yeah.
So we are new to this world of interviewing,
Yeah.
and watching your Bad Portraits interview, like you're a natural at interviewing.
Thanks.
But please tell us, how the fuck did you get Slowty into like a room, let alone tattoo him? Because that's fucking radical.
Yeah, that was funny, man. Like, so, oh golly, I've like 10 more episodes of that show that have been edited that I just abandoned halfway.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're done. I just didn't want to upload them
Fair.
because probably from the perfectionism. But
Yeah.
Slowty, that happened because my friend, who actually lives around the corner, was working at Universal, and she's like, oh, Slowty's coming and they want promo for Slowty in Australia, but they don't want to use anyone like, you know, like a hip media outlet, like a, you know, Baxter in TV or like a junkie or something like that. Like, and
Sorry.
oh man, that's just, that's how they put it, right? Like, and so, because they didn't want to do that, they were just like, oh, you're going to probably suit the vibe more of Slowty. And so then when I was there, they were like, oh, can you also interview a few other artists? And so I was like, all right, sweet. So then the series just ended up getting made.
Amazing.
But it was mostly around the Slowty interview, which was really fun. And he was lovely.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
nice.
Yeah.
I watched that a few
grinning.
times.
I know, and he was gorgeous as well, and he really appreciated the interview, which made me feel amazing. Like, and his manager afterwards said he never does long form stuff, but he did that, and I was like, that was really cool. Like, I don't know, I felt special. Like, he since called it like special, and that made me feel good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was
Well,
beautiful.
it's-
Plus, I tattooed him.
Yeah. It's just so
Yeah, but I
unreal.
didn't get to finish it. Actually, the story ended really, really poorly. So like, I was meant to finish that tattoo that night at 6 p.m, which for some reason I thought meant 9 p.m. And so between the hours of 6 and 9, I was chilling and I was exhausted because I'd done 3 interviews and a tattoo. And he's like, oh yeah, then you can tattoo me and my buddy Denzel. And I was like, oh, sounds great. I'm like, hang on. He meant Denzel Curry. And I'm like, oh damn, I could tattoo Denzel Curry and Slowty in the same day. That'd be like some mad bucket list shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I ended up fucking it up. At 9 p.m, I go to call him. He's like, bro, where were you? And I saw I had all these texts from him, and I'm like, oh.
That is hard.
Yeah, that one chewed me up for months.
Definitely a to be continued vibe, right?
Yeah. And who knows? I mean, it could have been good.
Exactly.
Maybe Denzel would have punched me in the face.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe I would have messed up the tattoo.
Maybe.
You never know.
You never know.
No.
Well, kind of going off that, you were saying, so you kind of just mentioned that Slowty is where that whole kind of season birthed. Was that the first episode?
No, the first episode was with Osher Ginsberg.
Awesome.
Who is one of the loveliest people in the world. God damn, I love him.
Very nice.
Yeah, again, the interviews were just so...
Thank you.
The chemistry with them.
Yeah.
Was awesome.
Thanks so much. Man, I should release the others.
You definitely should.
Yeah.
We were like, which ones were filmed first? Like, was it strategically planned the uploads?
Because the Osher one was filmed first, and then a few more in my friend Yasmin's studio, and those are the ones that I shot TK there. I think that was one that I'd uploaded, and then but Osher was really, really, really nice, and we talked mostly about sobriety because he's someone who's done the full 12-step program to come around to the guy that he is now, and I really like that, and
100%.
he's like been a low-key kind of like very mentor-y kind of role for that journey for me. So that's been super nice. Just a random out of the blue Andrew G from Australian Idol. I'm like,
I just feel like
you can't write it, man.
No, you can't. But yeah, your YouTube videos range from wholesome life advice, personal experiences, talking about the raw truths. What sparked the flame within you to start sharing with the world like you do? Is it somewhat therapeutic for you?
Yeah. Maybe somebody had... No. What did start it?
I remember seeing that your first upload on YouTube was this wholesome life advice from your grandfather.
Oh, that was a parody. Yeah. that was like pure shit posting. Like, it was like super fun. I mean, I wouldn't call it sustainable.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, some people make it sustainable. You got to be much more funny than talented than I could ever be to like sustain shit posting for life. But
right there.
Hey,
It would be. Just be like a constant banter.
Yeah, exactly. And like some people do it so well, and I'm always in respect of people who can be like funny 24/7. I'm like, damn, like that must be amazing. I can't. I have to kind of rest on probably like some darker stuff. But yeah, what made me want to share? I don't know, the same thing that makes anybody want to share, right? Like, and then just not wanting to bullshit anybody.
Yeah.
Like that was a big one. Then just always wanting to be honest, which is so hard because you never know if you're truly being honest with yourself or if like you're trying to exact some sort of gain from honesty, and then you're like, fuck, is this a gendered honesty? And then you get caught in your head, and then you're like, okay, I'll just express this overthinking. Maybe that's the honest part. And then you're like, I don't know.
I feel like that's the rawness of it.
Yeah,
though,
hopefully, thank you.
I feel every human in one way or another experiences that drowning of the mind or the overthinking or the, that urge to express. Like, I think you've built an amazing platform.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Okay, so is that the width of the body?
That's where the image...
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Sure, yeah, you can do whatever you want, though. We can't...
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
All right, so your 14-day isolation challenge, it has brought people together in this stressful time. Did you expect it to be received as well as it was? And what ended up being your favourite day of that fortnight?
Oh my god, great question. One that I wish I could do justice, but I am clearly drawing.
Take breaks. It's all right.
Okay, so... Thank you. No, that was for me the first time that I ever really saw my own impact.
Wow.
Yeah, and no, that was it for me, to be honest. Like, that blew my mind because I was like, I don't know, I guess before I felt like the way anyone feels, like you sort of, I think when you put stuff online, there's a little bit yelling into the void and then the imposter syndrome kicks in and you're like, oh, these guys are just strangers, of course they have to be nice to me.
Yeah.
Which is like such bullshit logic.
It is.
But then at the same time, you know, the overthinking kicks in and like you immediately discredit it.
The humans.
Yeah.
Totally.
But then I couldn't, and I guess also like you don't really know who the people are.
Yeah.
And that's, but it's parasocial in both ways, because people, like, let's say like I've got a YouTuber who I really like,
Yeah.
and I think of him as my friend, even though if we met, he would be waiting for me to say my name, but I would assume that we're friends, and like I'll be like, oh, hey, I'm this guy, and it's super trippy, right? But then from his point of view, the audience, like a big amorphous blob, or the people who follow him, who also follow so many other people, it's not like they exist for him.
Yeah.
But he has a parasocial relationship with him where he's like, I kind of feel like I know you, or like, you know, certain usernames pop up again and again and again. You're like, oh, this guy.
Absolutely.
And it's such a weird relationship. And it's giving from both sides, which is beautiful. But I, of course, didn't know in reality who any of the people were unless I'd met them. And like, you know, it's usually people who kind of look like this, right? Like, like, dirty overthinking hipsters, like, but like, you know, people with heart, which I really liked. But then to see, because that ended up generating like 5,000 pieces of artworks, which was
amazing.
Wild. And those were just the public ones. Those were just the ones that had been posted and that had used that hashtag. So then I was like, oh man, maybe a lot of creative people follow me, which I'm like, of course that would happen, but like, you know, I didn't have that thought until I had the evidence.
Absolutely. That is so good. It's like kind of like having that reflection of being
massively.
Like, seeing your impact. That's like a beautiful thing. Like, it's funny you say that whole thing. Like, for me, for example, like I love Baxter, right? And
Who's Baxter?
Baxter's this amazing like rapper, but he's just like so good with his words. Like amazing. Anyway, and like, you know, similar thing. I don't think I'll ever meet him, but I feel like I know him and I feel like he knows me so well.
Yes.
He tugs all my heartstrings with his words.
Completely.
And the power of that, it's so, it's a magical thing.
It's so
and
nice.
especially for you to create that isolation challenge in this just weird time again.
I think my favorite day was probably the first day, but then there are a whole bunch of other ones which I liked.
What was the 1.5 meters?
Yeah, the movies. I was like,
But like,
the
pottery scene.
where you're like, that's so fucking cool,
No,
man.
that's so good though.
Crazy for Swayze.
Just such the intimate scene. So your tattoos are obviously very radical.
Thank you. Great choice of words.
Thanks. And you had mentioned in one of your videos that most of them kind of have a bit of a funny backstory. I know that you said you were going to do a...
Oh, you mean mine? I thought you meant the ones that I'd done. No,
that too.
Yeah. Thank you.
You did also mention you were going to do a little make a video for your tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
But if you are willing to answer, which was your first tattoo and which was the most impulsive tattoo?
Oh God, they've all been stupidly impulsive.
I love that.
That's a good answer.
I love that.
I got one on the inside of my lip. That was, I'm not telling you. Golly. No.
You did that on camera, on recording. Like,
Yeah, you can see it. Yeah, so like,
We'll freeze.
it was, okay, we'll keep it to yourself.
Okay.
No. It was the name of my band at the time, and God.
band?
No, that was another one.
Sorry,
But no. But thank you. I love.
triggers.
Yeah. No, I love how researched you guys are. This is great. No, I was in a shit band. Everyone was in a shit band at one point in their life. Yeah. Yeah. And so, it was the shit band I was in when I was young. And God, we were going to make it. And that's why I got them tattooed on my lip, the least permanent spot.
Was that your first?
Yes, and it was only meant to last a year, and it has lasted like 10 years.
Can I just look at how faded? That's actually going really strong.
So, okay, but that is fucking whack.
Yeah.
Inside of your mouth for your
For your
first.
Well,
first?
it's actually,
Right?
my little brother, he's a lot younger than me, but his was the same. So
Wow.
this is only like, he put up, you know how like, he would have finished his HSC maybe like 2014 or something. So like Facebook groups with HSC students were quite popular. And he had this post that goes like, it was like 1,000 likes and I'll get Neopets tattooed on the inside of my lip. And then next minute he just sends me a screenshot and it's that with 1,000 likes. And I'm like, he's like, bro, can I come over? And so I ended up tattooing him just on the inside of his lips, just the word Neopets.
Oh my god. Is it still there?
Yeah.
Can I ask, what does it feel like tattooing to the inside?
Oh,
of
it's not as
someone's
painful. Not as painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You would think
Less painful.
I would say so.
Wow.
And then most impulsive. I mean, my favourite one, actually from Adam Scarf, who was here before, our mutual friend Yuma, the one who got deported.
Yeah.
He did this. This is right near the mic. This tattoo on me, which I love, which is just a Gwen Stefani lyric. Yeah. And I always love that. And I did his whole arms, and we used to. And he's done a bunch of others on me. Yeah, great dude.
You wake up in the morning, you're feeling a bit off.
Yeah.
What song or / music do you put on to make you feel good?
Man, I of course love this question. All right, so there are so many ways to answer it. So like, there's so many ways, like different types of off, right?
Absolutely.
So like, let's say your off was feeling like scatterbrained and you're like, I'm not peaceful, then I might go into like just like some drones, like very much like meditative drones. That's a very common one, like you know those meditation playlists where it's just one note for like 5 minutes. Whoa, that shit, yeah. And then I'll light some incense. That's probably like 5 days of the week, I would say. That's what and then other times I really like bluegrass, you know, like banjo music, like that shit is really fun.
It's super creative.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. If I'm like really needing like some sort of like zone out, I guess like rather like kind of obnoxious techno, like that kind of stuff, like, you know, where you just can't really hear yourself.
Yeah.
And then other than that, everyone's got their old classics, like Dido. Man, I would take a bullet for not Dido, but Dido's albums. Like,
Not him himself.
Yeah.
I love that. That really painted an image. I love how you separated it as well, because you're right. There are so many different kinds of off, and there are different types of vibes or music that can fit that off.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
So you also mentioned in your questions and answers video that you like the Smith Street Band.
Oh, I do.
Which album is your favorite?
No One Gets Lost Anymore, without a doubt.
That was amazing.
Fucking response.
My partner is like, he's the one that he's like made me fall in love. No, something that I love about the Smith Street Band is just like his emotion. I don't know, the screaming,
it's so
like the
good.
yelling, like it makes me, if I was to ever wanted to like release that type of music, like I want to go into a room and scream in front of a microphone, like, you know, that release.
And it's so like, oh god, pub rock, man, like it just makes you feel Australian, and that's
that's the thing.
I want to get like
and it's like like we're starved for identity as a nation, you know, like come on, like we need hallmarks.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing here if we're to talk about other cultures across the
Oh man, you got like 60,000 years of that, but like
in white Australia, fires and genocide.
Straight up,
That's what we've got. So absolutely though.
Yeah, so it's nice to have like someone who sounds like proudly suburban as well, like which, you know, like is also like just it's
humbling. It makes you like,
humbling.
You relate to it.
Completely.
I think that's the thing.
So we've created like three truth or false questions for you.
Okay.
So first one.
Yeah.
In The Simpsons.
Okay.
Nelson's father abandons his family with the corner store.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, like he leaves with cigarette vibes. You know,
yeah, Papa. Yeah.
Excuse, right?
Yep. Oh, yes.
It's truth or false?
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's true.
Truth?
Yeah.
Is that your final answer?
Oh, golly. Okay, because there are parts where, what's the one where he has the mirage and he's like, Papa, did you come back? And it's not his dad. You know what?
Sad.
I'm going to. Okay, so there is a fan theory that it's Barney, which is like, you know what? I'm gonna go with a fan theory, Barney. So I'm gonna go with false.
Yeah.
That feels wrong. No, true.
You're locking it in?
It's truth, yeah.
Locking in truth?
He's looking
Yeah.
in truth.
So should we do the answers at the end?
Yeah. Don't give me any false
Yeah.
confidence or
Next
the
question.
opposite of that.
In Cat Dog, the troublesome trio are called schoolyard dogs.
I want to
or
say false. I feel like they're greasers.
Yeah.
So false.
False?
Yeah.
Locked in false.
All right.
And you've locked in, what did you say?
Struth.
Greasers.
Yeah. I feel like they're called the greasers.
Yeah.
Okay, see.
Okay.
Fuck.
Next.
This is great.
In
Yeah.
the Rugrats,
Okay.
Angelica's last name was Pickles. Truth or false?
True, because the dads are brothers.
All right. Are we ready? Are
Yes.
we ready to reveal?
Yes.
Reveals.
Okay.
Go your reveals.
My reveals. Where'd I put the? Here we go.
Oh,
So, first one, false. So
Huh.
Marge adopts Nelson for a bit, and Bart tries to find Nelson's dad, so he leaves him. With all had heard that Nelson's dad never came back from the corner store, but turns out that Eddie brought a Snickers, but didn't realize it about the peanuts. Had an allergic reaction, became a swollen circus freak.
That's
where people
right.
threw peanuts at him.
Yeah, my mom, my bully. Yeah.
It's dark.
Yeah.
When researching that, we were like, oh my god.
Yeah. I just love the whole, like you were saying, fan theory into the whole, like,
I didn't even realize
Barney,
that was
because
Yeah.
of the way they look as well.
Yeah, and what
I
they
guess,
wear.
yeah, totally.
What they
Because,
wear.
yeah, it's just the vest is the difference
Yeah.
in their clothes.
Yeah, and their face shapes, really, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Quite similar. Next one.
Weird.
Yeah.
So you locked in false, and you said greases?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, that's completely correct.
Fuck
You
yeah.
got the greases dog.
Yeah.
And
God, it's been a minute.
last one, you locked in Struth.
Yeah, that was Pickles.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you are correct. It is.
Wow,
her last name is
I'm
Pickles.
embarrassed about The Simpsons.
I love
yeah.
how you remembered that though because of the brothers.
Yeah, Lou and Drew.
Extra
Yeah.
points for the,
The
name
Pickles.
of Angelica's doll.
Oh, okay, Cynthia.
Yes.
Hang on, I think I got Lou and Drew wrong. No, Stu and Drew, and then Lou is the dad. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And what are the twins called?
Phil and
Oh,
Lil.
Phil.
Yeah. And then
That
Cynthia
Paris
was meant to be her original mum.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ultimate fan theory.
Yeah.
Is that Angelica's a heroin baby and all the babies are her delusion, and the only one that is real is Dill Pickles.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah.
That is so
Old
I
old
saw-
Tumblr days, yeah.
Yeah, I saw a Tumblr post with it. It was
Yeah,
so
yeah,
very
yeah.
dark,
Oh my
but I remember
God.
it was like, that is a crazy, like,
Yeah, I like that one.
reality.
Yeah.
Those are our questions
that's our quiz
done.
questions and shit. Is that a complete drawing over there?
I believe it is.
done.
It's a complete drawing.
Oh my
Should we
God.
reveal
Cam.
it?
All right, should I do it to the camera?
Yeah.
I am so freaking curious. Oh, that's wild.
So
That's awesome. I love the heart chamber. That's so freaking cool. Is that an
wow.
okay position for it? Yeah, sick.
That's so sick.
Oh, wowzers.
That's
Hypnotics
mad.
I love the
Struthless.
lip with the eyeball coming out, or the eyelid, or like, the freaking like sat in there.
Yeah.
That's so,
So
sweet.
sick.
Oh, that's
Do you want to
nice.
name it? Is
Yeah,
it a
what's
her,
the
is it
name?
you, or is it-
Plasmo.
Plasmo. You should sign it, Plasmo.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right.
So sick. What the fuck?
Cool little plasmo. That was delightful.
Yeah.
So sick.
Exquisite
dude.
corpse.
Thank you. Little
Is this it? Are
This
we-
is it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
yeah.
you so much.
Oh, thanks heaps.
This is
Yeah. Thank you.